Hello everyone. So today we're going to interview a junior analyst, Kuya Jose Gabriel Mariano or Kuya Jego for short. And we would be asking him a series of questions regarding about SYSTANA and being a junior analyst. So first question, what are the important lessons that you have learned in SYSTANA that helped you go through SYSTES?
In SYSTANA, there are three major points that I want to point out that I have learned. The first one is critical thinking. Now, critical thinking means that since you're going to be communicating with a client, you have to process what they have said to you, and based from that information, you try to create a possible solution. And a part of critical thinking also is thinking of a solution that's feasible, meaning that your group could actually do it with the time given and the amount of budget, if ever there is, that is given to you. The next point I want to teach you is that I've learned that in SYSTANA, you have to be patient because, like for us in our group project, we had to go back to the client at least 5 times just to get the information we needed. Now, this may be frustrating us at start, but in the end, being patient actually helps out in your project overall because it allows you to deal with certain things even if you're stressed with everything else. And the third and final point that I want to mention is communication skills. Now, that could be applied to both your team, your group, because syempre simula pa lang kayo, so syempre medyo isip nyo kilala mo na sila, pero through this project you'll really know them for who they are. And ayun nga, and another part of communication is with the client, because during interviews with a client, you have to tell them and to show them through your communication skills that you are really willing to help them, and hindi lang to parang kasi if you don't give them the idea that you'll give 100+% to this project, hindi rin nila ikaw siseryosohin. So you have to be serious with your project, and you want to tell them na yes, we could bring change and we could improve your not just side lang kami na sana payagan mo kami ganun. You have to show them na willing talaga yung group nyo na to do the effort to actually make a solution for their problem.
So, second question, what were the difficulties that you have faced in doing the assigned projects to you as a systems analyst? How did you handle them?
In SYSTANA, I think a major problem that our group faced was the chemistry, no? And at first, sobrang hirap makipag-communicate sa group ko because I wasn't really that close to them. And I know I told you na communication is key, but yes, it is true nga based from my experience, because without it, sobrang hirap ng ginagawa nyo, and maghuhulaan na lang kayo na uy, nagawa nyo na ba to, pero wala palang gumawa, parehong ginawa nyo. So parang communication is really important, and the way we tried to settle this problem was we talked na uy, tapusin natin to, ayusin natin to, and maging seryoso tayo for this, and let's plan it out, let's make a Facebook group para alam natin kung ano yung ginawa nyo and easy to communicate with one another.
During the course of SYSTANA with your team, what do you think is the importance of teamwork and how did it affect the outcomes of the project?
I think teamwork is an important key to actually having a good project. And in teamwork, your team must have chemistry, meaning you have an open line of communication. Like for us, the way we did it was we had a Facebook group, and we also had a group chat to continuously have a open flow of ideas and information. If someone needs help, someone could ask someone else to help him, or you could help one another with one project if one's having a hard time. So I think teamwork is actually a key factor in having a good project in SYSTANA.
How did you manage to function as one team, as one organized body? Can you give some advice on how to have good teamwork?
A good advice I could give you is to have a fixed meeting, kung kaya once a week, para in that meeting, it's short lang, mga 15 to 20 minutes, and you talk about, you answer 3 questions. What are the things that you're supposed to do? What are the things that you have done? And what are the things that will block you from actually doing these things. So basically, you talk about your progress, kung ano yung plano nyong gagawin, and ano yung mga bagay na, yung mga dahilan if ever hindi mo ito magawa. So, ayun. So a meeting is actually good.
How do you accomplish projects on time without falling short in terms of quality?
I think a good technique that you could use in having a great project with having a high quality of it is using divide and conquer. So basically, you divide the project into small little pieces rather than approaching it the entire big thing, because that's gonna be harder and more probable chances of having a bad project. So in divide and conquer, you divide it into tiny pieces, and each pieces will be done by a specific person. And if a specific person is having a hard time in that specific task, he could ask his group mate to help him or her in actually achieving that. So in divide and conquer, you could test them like one by one before actually connecting them all together. So if there's a problem in one small lang, it's not that big, so it won't be that much of an issue since it's not that big yet. And before you could actually combine everything, you test them all individually to see if they would work on their own, and then try to connect them to have the big project.
Divide and conquer. Okay, next question. What were your shortcomings in performing the different tasks or projects in the said course?
In SYSTANA, our group wasn't able to deliver some deliverables on the deadlines, and I could say that the reason for that was our team didn't have good chemistry, because there wasn't an open line of talk at the first half of the class, so it was really hard for us to communicate and have a plan and a goal to achieving the deliverables and requirements. So we think that the way to actually make this all better was to have an open communication and try to talk about everything in a group or in a chat to actually try to communicate with your group mates.
Which kind of IT career, analysis designer, project manager, programmer, would you pursue after graduating? Which lesson learned in system analysis do you think would be most useful in your future job?
I think the job that I would pick would be a project manager, because I'm the person who constantly wants to talk with clients and with the team. So the project manager's job is to talk with the client, understand their problem, their processes, and then try to tell the group na, oh, ito yung kailangan nila, kaya ba natin to, ano yung mga possible solutions na isip nyo for this, ganyan. So I think communication is actually important key in being a good project manager.
Next question. What does it take to be a well-rounded system analysis? What characteristics does a good systems analysis need to have?
A system analyst should have, I mentioned a while ago, three characteristics. So they should be critical thinkers, they should be patient, and they should have a good interpersonal skills. Now these three allow a system analyst to think outside of the box, and because in being a system analyst, you can't just tell your team yung lahat ng sinabi ng client. You have to analyze what the client said, and you have to process the possible other problems that they didn't mention that could actually improve, make the system more better and more efficient for the company.
So as a junior analyst, what are the tips that you can give us as beginners?
Since you guys are still new to this field, I would suggest that you should first practice on your communication skills, because I think this is the most important one, because this will allow you to actually communicate with your team and with the client. Because if a client knows that you're nahihirapan ka mag-communicate to them, parang they would think na wala naman, hindi naman nila ako makausap na mabuti, so halos wala rin yung gagawin nila. So you have to learn actually how to communicate with other people, and especially to clients, to understand their needs and to know like their processes, to understand everything about their business before you could actually make a system that would help them with their problems.
So that's all of the questions that we ask. So thank you po
Yeah.
for allowing us to conduct this interview with you.